If you were to live in New York and make $100,000 per year, you might finish the year with, I don't know, like $2,000, whatever. But if you were to live in Thailand, you might finish the year with $20,000 or more. And that's the big difference. So it's already 2 p.m. in Budapest and I didn't leave the apartment yet. Time to get lunch. So the plan for this afternoon is to go check out a park that's not too far from here. I think I wanna maybe go back there another day. This is like one of those places where they have these hot baths. In Budapest, it's a very common thing, very popular. So we'll try to take a look at the park first. Maybe come back another day for these hot baths. So for now, a little bit of walk and admiring the buildings as always. So I had to stop for a while in a coffee shop to do some work, but I want to get to the point of this video before we get to the park. You see, when I tell people I travel almost full-time or a good part of the year, most people automatically say, well, travel is super expensive. How do you afford to do it? So today I will share with you guys kind of what I spend money on, how much money I spend per month, and what I can do with that money basically while traveling. And this will certainly vary based on what country you go to when you want to travel to. Like, some countries are more expensive than others, some countries are cheap. And I've, in the past few months, done kind of both. I've been to places that are really expensive, like Hong Kong, London, Singapore. And I've been to places that are more cheap, like Vietnam, Taiwan, and we could say Hungary too. It's not that bad. But I kind of enjoy these cheaper places anyway. Like, there's something fun about paying your beer $20 when you can pay it like $1 or 50 cents in another place. And I kind of enjoy that. And just in case you guys didn't notice it, I made it to the park and it's beautiful. Trees all around, looks pretty big. I don't know how far it goes, but it's quite huge. Alright, so here's the breakdown. By the way, here I speak kind of more in Canadian dollar because that's kind of what I'm used to. Last month, April 2018, I spent $2,320.77. Now I could spend probably less than that if I wanted to. Like, if you really wanted to travel and just discover the world, you could also go way above that. If you were to stay in like 5-star hotel or even 4-star hotel every night, that's gonna be very expensive. But here are some of the rule of thumb I go through. And this is gonna vary on the country and stuff, but you wanna try to equilibrate that depending on like where you live. I go with about $30 per night for the apartment, the place I'm gonna be staying at. And this is always going to be for like a private room or a full Airbnb, depending on like what city or country you're in. There's places I've paid much less than that. So in Da Nang, Vietnam, I had this big room for $17 a night. And then you get to London or Hong Kong, maybe $60 or $70 per night for either like a small room in Hong Kong or kind of a Airbnb in London, because that really varies. So let's just like round it up, let's say to $1,000 per month on rent. Okay, that's gonna be a little bit more than $30 per night. Now the other part that has to be considered is food. I try to try as much local food as I can, which means going to different restaurants, trying what they have, seeing the local stuff as much as I can, street food, which is not expensive sometimes, most of the time actually. So in most places, I think you can go with $20 per day on food, and you have plenty of food. It's not even a problem. And if you live in an Airbnb, which I try to do most of it now, you can cook food for yourself, which is much cheaper because you can go even lower than that. But if you want to really experience and try local food, $20 per day would be plenty. So that gives you, let's say, $1,000 for the rent, which as we said is pretty good for most countries, and $600 per month for food, and the rest of it's going to be for other things you have to buy. So let's say plane tickets, right? All these small plane tickets between cities. So let's say London to Budapest, that was like $70 or something. And then train tickets to move around, or some Uber to move around as well. Some subway ticket to move to different place. And that plus the kind of self-development stuff, which means regular books, audiobooks, online programs, software for backtesting, which I think I bought in April, conference. This is what's going to get you back to the say $2,320 for the month of April, and that's it. Like, there's nothing more to that. And some people are going to spend more. It's normal. I tend to buy only what's necessary and what's needed, like not crazy stuff that I don't need. And I would bet that most of you guys spend more than that in your home country, as opposed to being traveling and seeing the world, which is kind of a reality check sometimes. And if you want to travel, I'm pretty sure you could do it for the same amount that you have now. Now, the only problem here, you're having right now a fixed income. Like, you have to go to work to this place every day. For most of you, that's going to be the case. For some people, and good job if that's the case, you might not have to be at one place. And if you want to travel, then I don't know really what you do in the same place. Now, if you have an income that you can only make when you are in your home country, and that you cannot just go away, travel, and still make money, well, then we need to talk about that and tackle it right now. One of the books that had a pretty big impact on my lifestyle and kind of what I decided to achieve in life, it's called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And if you guys didn't read that book, I strongly recommend you read it. You won't get any trading advice, because it's not about trading at all, but you'll sure get a path and some better ideas on how to develop what we would call kind of a freedom lifestyle, where you work or live wherever you want, and you do whatever you want to do. One of the principles discussed in that book is something called absolute income, or something of the sort. Basically, it's about the fact that making, let's say, $100,000 per year in New York is not the same as making, let's say, $100,000 in Thailand or in Hungary. It's different, because if you were to live in New York and make $100,000 per year, you might finish the year with, I don't know, like $2,000 or whatever. But if you were to live in Thailand, you might finish the year with $20,000 or more. And that's the big difference. Things get much easier, because if you were to make, let's say, $100,000 in New York, you might need to make only $40,000 in Thailand to maintain the same lifestyle. Break this down per month, and that's only $3,323 per month, which you can probably do. Now, I feel like I need to mention the word trading soon, otherwise you guys won't like this video. But your trading does not have to be and should not be your only source of income. If you are building stuff that way, where the only way for you to make money is to trade and be profitable for the month, you're not going to sustain it for a long time. Unless, of course, you find a way to hit those lucky months every single month, but you can always try. The point is that you want to see how much money you can make from trading, and then cover that up with other activities, other things you do. And I know this is kind of aiming for the minimum, but to achieve greatness, we have to start with the minimum and starting to build the right habit and processes. So whatever amount of money your trading makes, write that down on a sheet of paper, and next to it, write down how much money you need to live. And like, we don't mean like live bare minimum, but live comfortably. And then below that, brainstorm on 10 ideas on how you can cover up the money you need to achieve the lifestyle you want. And as you work on your trading, work on those other income streams, because they're gonna make it much easier, trust me, to sustain trading and to keep increasing your account size. And keep in mind that you should never ever aim to make the exact amount of money you need to live. Part of the money you make is going to be used to invest in your account. We call this active investment. Another part is going to be used for passive investment, so something more secure. And you might have a part for charity, so money that you'll give to other people. By the way, this money breakdown advice is not from me, it's not something I created, it's actually from Jim Rohn. I'll put a link below to a video that I really enjoyed, and where Jim Rohn talks about that principle, kind of how you should break down your money and spend it. Definitely check it out after this one. Man, I'm just amazed here when I walk in the street with like all those buildings or all the architecture. It's just amazing. It looks like so old but so clean and new at the same time. I know it's not new, but it looks so nice anyway. I came to a slightly different area for dinner tonight, so we'll try to see what I can find. Typical restaurant on the side of the road here, and I got the Hungarian burger. It should be good with, of course, beer. Let's see how that looks.